today's video. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Estee and on my channel we discuss everything in the beauty world and sometimes some other things. So if you enjoy that, be sure to subscribe because it means everything to a small creator like myself. And if you are liking this video while you're watching, be sure to give it a thumbs up because it also really helps me. So for today, I am in great spirits. It is March in New York and I'm wearing a t-shirt. I think they call it Fool's Spring because it is almost 50 degrees. It's a super sunny day. I'm feeling good. And we are going to be doing another Foundation Friday. And today we are testing out the Rare Beauty Foundation. This has been out for a while, but I've always kind of been curious about it. So I decided that I would give it a shot. I will also be testing out two new powders that just hit the market, the Tatcha, the Silk Powder, and the Kosas Powder, so you will see that a little bit after the application. So without further ado, if you want to see a demo application on this foundation as well as a full 8-hour wear test plus me trying out these new powders, then let's get right on into it. Here is the foundation. I have it in the shade 210 Neutral, which I'm really hoping will match me. I did swatch this, or the Sephora associate swatched it on me in store, so I'm really hoping this should work. It does come with a doe foot applicator. I don't know how I feel about these. I feel like you either love them or you hate them. I'm kind of indifferent. Here is a swatch of that 210 Neutral color. This feels very liquidy and serumy. You can kind of see that on the applicator. It is quite liquidy. So I do feel like the doe foot kind of makes sense. I feel like if this was in a pump, it would just spill right out. But anyways, that being said, I think I'm just gonna start, I don't know if I should do stripes or dots. I honestly don't know how much to put on. I know this is supposed to be medium to full. And yeah, I just want to start with this half of my face. So let's blend this out and see how it looks. It feels very serumy on the skin. I did read some reviews, which I try not to do, but this foundation has been around for a while, at least a few months at this point. So it was bound to happen that I was going to see some reviews. And a lot of people said that this didn't really work for them if they had more oily skin and that it's better for dry skin. But of course, we will see. I will be doing a full day wear test on this. I'm not wearing any primer underneath, anything like that. I just have my skincare underneath, which I always do when I'm wearing a new foundation. This side's looking pretty good so far. So let me go ahead and apply it basically in the same way to the other side of my face. As I blend this out, I am going to read the claims. It says a weightless foundation with concentrated pigments that feel barely there while providing buildable medium to full coverage with natural finish. I do agree with that barely there. Like I feel like you don't feel it on your skin at all. And I feel like that's kind of why I said it almost feels like serumy. It almost feels like skincare and it's super thin. So it says medium with a natural finish, formulation liquid, skin type, normal dry combination, and oily. Featuring a convenient doe foot applicator, this foundation delivers pure pigments packed in a serum-like base, that's what I said, making it easy to blend and build coverage while evening out skin tone and hiding the look of pores, no clogging or caking with a botanical blend of lotus, gardenia, and water lily. It calms and nourishes skin for a comfortable long wear in 48 shades. Here is how one layer of the foundation is looking. It definitely has that serum-like effect. I feel like the finish on the skin is super beautiful, but as you can see over here on my chin, I'm having a breakout. It's that time of the month. You can definitely see that it's accentuating those breakouts quite a bit. It's looking a little dry around them, but that being said, it's looking really beautiful on the rest of my face. Okay, I think it's all dried down by now. It dries down almost fully. It definitely feels like slightly tacky, but the skin looks really nice and healthy. But anyways, let's go in with the second layer. I'm not sure how much to put on. I feel like I say that every time, like I don't know how much to put on. Honestly, my forehead doesn't really need more. And I feel like if you have great skin and you don't have any acne, or if you don't have any like scarring or anything like that, one layer is literally more than enough. I'm very impressed with the coverage. I'm just gonna put a little bit more on this side, really just on my chin where I need it. The rest of the skin looks really good. All right, I feel like I put a lot on, but that is okay. Ooh, okay, it's building on itself very, very nicely. I'm actually very impressed with this so far. I mean, you can see just from my lips how much coverage that is. Okay, let's blend out this mess over here. I put a crap ton on over here. I probably put too much, but that's a problem area of mine, so I definitely wanted to, you know, cover it up. I quickly want to say that also, if you are new here, my skin type is combination. My T-zone gets very oily, my chin is dry as the Sahara Desert, and the rest of my face is pretty much normal. I also suffer from cystic acne and perioral dermatitis. All right, here we are, all zoomed in. I definitely think that with the second layer, the chin is looking better and it doesn't look as cakey. You can kind of still see the dryness underneath, but it's not accentuating the dryness. But yeah, as you can see, it definitely gives the skin this really beautiful glow, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful foundation, and I love how thin the formula is. I'm gonna give this a few minutes to dry down, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my face. I will be coming back after my concealer because we will be testing out the new Tatcha Silk Powder, which I am super duper excited for, so I will be coming back to show you all this on camera, so I will see you in a bit. Not much has changed, we are back. I just went ahead and applied the Wet n Wild Magalast Incognito Concealer in the shade Light Beige. I'm obsessed with it. So what we are going to do is, on one side of my under eye, I want to bake using this powder, and then on the other side of my under eye, I just want to try it setting it normally with like an under eye brush. This is how the powder looks opened up. It did come with like a little plastic ring to keep all the powder inside, and it kind of like sifts through this purple plastic, if you can see it. So that's where the powder comes out of, and I took that ring off, so it kind of spilled out a little bit. But anyways, I'm gonna pick up some with my e.l.f. sponge, and I'm just going to go ahead and start with the sides of my nose and apply this on my under eye. Okay, this is supposed to be translucent, but as it's sort of getting into my skin, it's kind of turning like yellowish. Okay. While this side bakes a little bit, I'm just going to pick up a little bit on my Morphe E48 brush. Just gonna swirl it into the cap and tap off some excess. And I'm just gonna go ahead and set my under eye. I'm also gonna put a little bit on my eyelid just because I always put concealer on my eyelids. Now I'm gonna go ahead and sort of wipe off this bake slash push it into the skin, which is what I always do. And anytime a powder is like a loose powder, I'll always try to bake with it. I absolutely love baking. I feel like you either love it or hate it, but for me, I absolutely love it. It keeps my concealer in place all day. All right, I just zoomed you all in a little closer. Okay, so the under eye that I baked with, as you can see, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but it's much more yellow and it's slightly darker. And that will happen sometimes with translucent powders or just like any powders. It happens with me with the Charlotte Tilbury airbrush powder, is that it kind of oxidizes and makes that concealer a little bit darker. So yeah, definitely did that on the side that I baked. That being said, the side that I did not bake looks pretty good. It's not oxidized or anything like that. My under eyes aren't looking dry. But I don't know. I mean, they don't look as good as when I use like my Holy Grail Hourglass powder. So I will say that. So here is its swatch, and you can see it sort of has this like iridescent feature to it, which you can definitely see a little bit on the under eyes. Definitely need to play around with this more. I'm thinking that maybe I'll also go ahead and set my face with this also once I'm done doing my cream contour, just to see how it performs. Okay, let me go do my cream contour, blend that out, and then we will come back and we will set our face with the Tatcha powder as well. All right, I just applied my cream contour. I just used the Milani Cream to Powder foundation. I just picked this up at my local CVS and I'm really liking it, and this is in the shade Spiced Almond. All right, so I have the Tatcha powder, but I also have the new Kosas powder, and I kind of want to use them both and see which one I like more and how they work. So I think on this side of my face, I will use the Tatcha to set it, and then on this side of my face, I'll use the Kosas, because why not? We're here already, we might as well just try both. On my It Cosmetics brush, I'm just kind of gonna take like the excess that's on the cap and I'm gonna start setting this down. I'm gonna bring it down to my neck as well. All right, that looks really pretty. You can definitely still see like that glow coming. I think it's also because this does have like those reflective pigments or illuminating pigments. This looks really, really pretty. Now let's go into the other side with my other brush. Yes, I have two of these because I am obsessed. I'll be going into the Kosas Powder. So this is the Cloud Set Powder in the shade Comfy, which is the medium shade. That's how it looks. Now I feel like this and the Tatcha is kind of similar because this also, I don't know if the camera is really picking up on it, but it also has these illuminating like pigments. And here's how that color looks next to the Tatcha, if you can see the difference. But anyways, let's see. Oh, okay. This does have a little bit of kickback. I was actually expecting much more kickback. All right. Let's see how this sets down. All right, this is a little hard. I definitely think that the Tatcha one sets it down more, probably because it is more of just like that loose powder formula. But just from like a first impression standpoint, they both look really good. They both look pretty similar. I think it is because they both have sort of these like light reflecting pigments happening in there, and they both like do not look like I have powder on my skin at all. Like you definitely cannot tell that I have any powder on my skin at all, which is awesome. That being said, I'll be back in a bit to show you my finished makeup look. All right, I am back and here is my finished look. Let me quickly tell you the other things that I used on my face. On my eyes, I used the Makeup by Mario Glam Quads in the shade Rosy Glam, and I kind of just did this silvery berry type of look. I mixed these two shades. I absolutely love these quads. On my cheeks, I use the Patrick Ta Oh She's Different Cream and Powder Duo, and I just mixed these. I went in with the cream first, and then I went in with the powder, and then on my lips, I am wearing Morphe Makeup Talk Such a Holy Grail, and then I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury lipstick in Penelope Pink, because I was just feeling a more pinky nude, and I don't know, I feel like today with using this and using this, I kind of just wanted to use some products that I absolutely love and I just haven't used in a while. But anyways, let's go back and talk about the foundation. I think it looks super beautiful on the skin. I still can't tell the difference between the Tatcha powder side versus the Kosas powder side, but we'll see as the day goes on. But I think the skin looks absolutely beautiful and I'm really impressed with it so far. I do want to quickly mention that it did definitely get into my forehead lines a little bit, and this side of my chin where I'm having this crazy hormonal time of the month breakout. Love those. It is looking slightly cakey, a little dry, but it's not accentuating the dryness, just looking a little cakey. That's how I feel so far. But that being said, I will be wearing this for the full 8 hours as I usually do. So I will see you in another 4 hours for our first check-in. All right, I am back and the foundation is looking great. I'm actually really surprised because the foundation looks exactly the way it looked 4 hours ago. Like literally nothing has changed. My oils really aren't coming through. I may just come up more shiny on camera because I have like this big light flashing on me, but it's looking pretty good. My chin is looking okay. It's looking like slightly cakey and slightly dry, but it's not too bad. And to be honest, last night I started using this like lactic acid treatment again. So I think that's also kind of why it's looking a little bit drier. Don't see any difference between the Tatcha powder side and the Kosas powder side. I mean, maybe the Tatcha side one is slightly more mattified, but I honestly cannot see any difference. As far as my under eyes are going, between the side that I baked versus not baked, I think that the side that I baked actually looks much better than the side that I didn't bake. I feel like the side that I didn't bake, almost my concealer looks like it's like fading, and my blueness, my darkness under my eyes is coming out a little more. So far, the only thing that I'm really not liking is that it is getting into my wrinkles and it's kind of stuck in there, but That being said, I feel like my skin looks absolutely beautiful. It looks super duper healthy, and I'm very surprised so far. I will say that I don't think I would have liked this foundation if I didn't set it with a powder. Like I'm very happy that I set both sides with the powders, because even when I let it dry down, once I was done doing my makeup, it wasn't like fully set down, and I just prefer foundations that are really fully set down, just because I like to put, you know, like my hand on my face, which I know you shouldn't do that anyways, or you know, you just don't want to be like aware that something's like wet on your skin, if that makes sense. So I am happy that I did use those powders, and I'm happy I set this down, and I think that's really it for the 4-hour check-in. So I will see you in another 4 hours for our final check-in. All right, I am back. It has been a full 8 hours, and first impressions right off the bat, I am very, very impressed. I feel like the makeup looks, or the foundation looks almost as good as when I first applied it. I'm actually very, very surprised. I just feel like it gives a really nice, like natural glow to the skin without being too glowy. I mean, that being said, you can definitely see like my oils coming through a bit. So I do feel like this will probably work for all skin types, but if you are oily or if you're a combination like myself, definitely set it. I am curious to see like how it would have worn if I didn't set it, but I could probably answer that question myself. I did set it. I never retouched the powder, so I will say that in the 4-hour check-in, my face was totally fine with that initial powdering, but now that we're at the 8 hours, I definitely see my oils coming through. As far as the Tatcha versus the Kosas powder, my oils are definitely coming through more on the Tatcha side. I think also the way the Tatcha side is looking, both powders have like a luminosity to them, but I do think that because the Tatcha one is actually a loose powder, it has a little bit more luminosity, so I feel like my oils are coming through a little bit more, and because it has already that luminosity to begin with, it looks like my oils are coming out even more, if that makes sense. So I would say if we're going Tatcha versus Kosas, I know this is a Rare Beauty Foundation Friday, but I do want to mention it, I would say Kosas. As far as the baking goes and my under eyes with the Tatcha powder, it's not looking too hot. Let me zoom you all in. All right, here we are up close and personal. So my under eyes are just both sides. The side I baked is not looking too great, and the side that I just lightly set it with is not looking too great. Here's a close-up of the foundation. It's looking really, really beautiful, especially right here on my cheeks. I like that I don't feel it on my face. It's definitely nice and thin. As you can see, I'm having this massive breakout. The breakout is looking a little dry. It's looking a little, you know, it could look a little better, but it's still looking okay. Overall, I am really pleased and I'm really surprised about this foundation. I will not lie. I didn't really expect to like it this much. I kind of expected that it made me look like super shiny and super greasy. That was definitely not the case. Like I said, if you're more combination to oily, definitely set this down and it'll look beautiful. Another thing that I kind of noticed, this may be a save or splurge type of video in the future, but I think it's very similar to the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Dewy Foundation, which is one of my favorites. Let me know down below in the comments if you would like to see a splurge or save video on that. I don't know if it may be repetitive since I just did a whole Foundation Friday on the Rare Beauty Foundation, but let me know because I think these are pretty similar. And with that being said, that is all for today's Foundation Friday. Thank you so much for watching. It literally means the world for me. Let me know down below in the comments if you have any other foundations you'd like me to try for Foundation Friday, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!